Hey, bad kids. Impromptu live. Hello, hello. Welcome to Unsolved Amy Boston. And we have another Amy with us tonight. Happy New Year's Eve. What do we got? Hi, Rainy and Amy in the back seat. I got another Amy. Ooh, ooh. We got another Amy. Happy New Year's Eve. Without further ado, I'm going to bring up my co-host for this evening. Para Women Radio, Ames, hello.
Hey there. Happy New
Hello.
Year's Eve.
Happy New Year's Eve. It's been quite a year.
Yeah, it has. This year started out pretty rocky, but it's ending pretty good for me. How's it ending for you?
That's a bit same. Same. The beginning of the year was really, really hard and incrementally it got better, but that's the goal, right? It's just having a better day than the last. At least that's my goal every year.
Yeah, I know, Amy and Amy. It
Yes,
happens
and one of my mods is
a
an
lot of
Amy as
Amy's out
well.
there.
Yes, another Amy. Yes, this is Amy. She's Para Women Radio. I'm actually going to pin her channel on the top of my chat so that all of the Unsolved Amy Boston people can go ahead and give her a sub. I watch her channel every day. Hey, Crafty Chris. Happy New Year's Eve. So, sorry, I'm all over the place. I have ADHD. I just want to give some disclaimers, kids. We are not professionals over here on the Unsolved Amy Boston channel. We go over here, we speculate over here. We do all the things. Things that I say are not reflective of the other Amy, and because I can get a little sideways. Amy. I'm
Probably
very
vice versa.
opinionated.
Not everything I say is reflective of you too. So
But
good
yes, yeah.
way.
Yeah. So can I ask you a question? This is what I've always known. I watch your channel. How did you get into the true crime genre on YouTube? That's what you started out as? Have you always been a true crime fan?
Well, I started out a long time ago over on Blog Talk Radio, and I actually did Para Women Radio, which was paranormal, and then I switched over to paranormal and horror. So I would interview like actresses and directors and stuff like that. And then like 3 years ago, I rebooted the show and I added true crime to it.
Very cool. Very
And I
cool.
moved it over to YouTube.
Yes. So you were, what other platforms are you on as well for my viewers who don't know your content? I know a lot of people listen to podcasts throughout the day. So if you want to let them know where your other platforms are as well and how to follow you, that'd be great.
We're all over the place, but we're mainly on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. But we're also on Instagram and TikTok and yeah, those other places. But when we stream to those three places: YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, Twitch is a new one. I'm not I just actually got on the Rumble not me, not Unsolved, but I just started watching Rumble, and that actually looks like a more, because I'm, like I said, I'm kind of a loose cannon, and I do all the things over here. I shouldn't, I swear. I do all those things. But Rumble is actually something that I might be. I've never got logged on to Twitch. I'll have to do that. We'll log on to you, subscribe to you over there, and
We've got a few things over on Rumble. Rumble is the way to go if you don't want Rumble and like Patreon and places where you can put your stuff up without worrying about having to use the words like you do over on YouTube and whatnot. So
yeah. They're a huge censorship over here. It's gotten progressively, it like got better and then it got worse again, and that, there's the whole like cancer culture of it all. Granted, don't get me wrong. See, I'm a huge advocate for First Amendment and people having opinions and stuff, and I you know
Mhm.
we'll use me and you have bonded over the hidden true crime stuff, right? It's not even about the case, it's about the creator being exploitive and all of these things. My opinions of Laura Matthias, I'm not telling anyone how to think. This is just my opinion commentary. Like ugh, right? And just as much as anyone wants to come on here and have opinions and do their thing, you people have the right to be criticized as well, right? And that particular creator has a hard time with criticism and blocks it, and that's her right to do,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Yeah, I do it. I mean, if somebody comes over to my page, I used to not do it, and I would think that I almost deserved it or free speech, so I should take it. But then I started thinking, like, why should I like um give away my sanity and my peace to somebody else just because they feel they should have the right to say something offensive to me? So I weigh it
yeah.
out. If I feel like it's harmful for my community and for me, I just block them. I don't care anymore.
Absolutely. I totally agree. But it's kind of like that's your space to do it, right? This is your channel. You can have whatever community you want and what you want to shape it as. You don't need to keep comments and stuff like that. But people, my thing is with what you say hidden true crime, being in the public eye, that's being kind of a fly on the wall and watching how everything has unfolded. Um Even though you can block it with your community, and I'm a huge proponent for that too. I am all about that. If you want to come on over here and start acting acting a certain way, you don't have to be here. And that's the
Yeah.
beauty of creators, That's the beauty of creators. You can pick and choose who you want to be around and who you want to watch and who you and even like I've gotten a lot of hidden gems in my comments and whatnot. Yeah.
The hidden gems. I love them. They're such good people. I feel so bad for them that they were duped like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
we all get duped at one point in our life. So as
Absolutely.
long as they learn
Absolutely.
from it, then I think it's a good lesson.
Absolutely. And and the thing is too is like there's a lot of people on there that don't actually know what's going on with said creator or any creator for that matter, right?
Oh, well, they
And
hide it because they
blindly
know
follow.
it. Yeah. Did you see what I was? I was in one of their chats, and they were like the moderation on it. They were working overtime. Grayson must have been
Yes.
tired, exhausted afterwards.
Hope she got a raise. I
Yeah,
know.
gosh, I couldn't have handled all that.
No.
And the chat was at a crawl. Sometimes it didn't even move for a while because people were sending out, I guess, like really long sentences, and it was taking them forever to get through it.
That's
Some of it
hilarious.
got through, and it was all on the way she looked. Like, and
Oh,
even the nice ones were like, "Honey, what's wrong with you?"
yeah. And I truly believe that some of them I saw what was of genuine concern, right? It's like because she does have a lot of health problems that
Yeah.
she talks about, and um, that's another thing. Taking shots at the way someone looks. I'm guilty of it. With her, I've done lives and I've gone left with that. And it was I. It's the easy route to hurt somebody, right? And is it your finest moment? Was my finest moment to talk about her looks? Of course not, right?
I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, there's
I'm done.
no.
If you come out looking like that, um, I'm going to talk about it because I was watching somebody talk about the way she looked and that, she has that Hollywood, uh, what's that frozen wife kind of look, that Hollywood look.
Oh,
And
like the
you can't,
Stepford Wives.
yeah, the Stepford
Yeah,
Wives. You can't read her expressions, and we are, as human beings, are programmed to want to read and try to look at people's expressions to figure out how they're feeling, and we can't do that with Lauren because of all the work she's done to her face. So it off puts us because and people talk about it, and I'm done trying to pretend like she didn't do that to herself, that I'm supposed to look away because she did it. Why can't I talk about it? I'm done
nothing
with
to see
this.
here.
Like, if I see something, like, well, what happened to if you see it, talk about it, right? Like there's
Right.
something wrong.
Right.
So I'm done feeling bad about it. And I was reporting on what they were talking about. So it wasn't like I said, today
Right.
I'm going to talk about Lauren's face, right? It was what
Right.
everybody was talking about. And so I was
Absolutely.
reporting what was happening, and that's what was happening. So
Well, and then my thing is too, right? I don't generally like I would never I wouldn't generally do that. However, my thing is that when you're attacking, see, being part of the true crime community for years, right? I've been a trial follower for a long time. It
and a
captivates
travel
me, right?
tourist.
Yeah, I'm a trial tourist from for through the TV, through the lens of the computer. Um yeah, and so, and you kind of like you get for me, I'll speak for myself. I get, attached to these trials and the victims and everything. And I to go after the defenseless, right? So when you're going, say, if, hidden true crime, and they're going after victims, and they're going after, the Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, for everyone who in Unsolved, I'm sure you guys all know, but we'll just clarify the Lori Vallow, Daybell, Chad Daybell. They essentially murdered multiple people, right? I just multiple people on both in Chad's uh, orbit and in Lori Vallow's orbit, and they were children, and there's living victims, and this channel preyed on them, right? And so my thing was, it was like you kind of. I've thought the things I've said about it for a long time, but my thing was, if you're going to do this to people, then you should take the heat of, she looks like someone that wouldn't necessarily want to, her looks to be talked about. And I actually always defended John. And let me tell you how the disappointment I feel after reading his lies, right? I was under the impression that you know, uh he was evaluating criminals and sex offenders all this time. And there's two that have come out recently of ones that he has done, and much like his opinion about the Richard Allen Delphi trial, um is he the same, where there's a price tag on what you'll do, um or won't do, for that matter, right? So that was super disappointing to hear.
It was really disappointing to
Yeah.
read and to see who he was defending, and the fact that he was defending those people, but yet wanted Christina in
Yeah.
prison and on a tether, and she's a mother of four. And it's just
Right.
like, wow.
Yeah, it was. And for specifically, I cover a lot of trial cases with children. And I've said it time and time again. I'm not a doctor or a lawyer or anything like that. I'm just a girl on the internet with a lot of opinions and, some educated knowledge, but just by researching and you know examining these cases in people and the psychiatry of life and the way people tick have always fascinated me, right? I think that you have you were in the mental health field, if I'm not mistaken, at one point.
Yeah,
um
my BA in psych social.
right. So the way people tick have always fascinated me.
Yeah.
And when when the examiner becomes the examined, right? um I would much rather someone be authentic and be like, I don't know shit, than for them to present themselves one way, and then you find out that they're like they're allegedly the boogeyman behind the scenes. When you purport to when you say that you're a victim advocate and you cozy up to people, and then I find out that expert witnesses get paid,
Mm-hmm.
and he gave the opinion of the people that he was being paid by. And so there's a price to those type of people, and integrity, in my opinion, to them means nothing. And so that was the
Of your
disappointment.
own to go out there and protect somebody like that and have a child of your own. I don't know.
Right. Right. Well, and that was something too for them to throw around the fact that like their son was having mental. If that is true, that is tragic,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And whenever he was like, whenever like my son's having, well, whose problem is that? Like, whose fault is that? Why does he know so much? Like, why is he so triggered by it all? Like, why are you putting adult problems on in an 8-year old's mind, right?
I
Coming
didn't
from a place of my own
check,
trauma.
but somebody said they heard the son in the New Year's Eve live that they did. I didn't go back and check. I just read it in my comments. So
Really?
this is all alleged, but was he sitting there during, like listening to his mom and dad talk about, I think they talked about Melanie Buzzard.
Oh God.
Said they either saw his arm or they heard him or something. I think they said they saw his little arm.
Oh God. Yeah, that's where I draw a line and I blame the parents. It's not the 8-year-old's fault for asking if Chad Daybell is coming to Thanksgiving. That's a parent problem, right? And that's the thing. Even if we don't even know if that's true, right? That's a weird lie.
Yeah. Well, and we do know she made a playroom next to her office for him in a closet. So I imagine she didn't soundproof it. So he's playing in there, listening to it all, I would think.
Right. Right. Well, I even say like, I have a small child and I don't live in a mansion by any stretch of the imagination. But even like it being so involved in cases that are a little iffy, right? I keep earbuds in.
You
You
have to be.
don't say things in front of. I'm big on keeping children for as long as they can. And if any of that's true, like that's not our fault that that their son's traumatized, that that it's a mirror situation. And to reflect that onto the public, like you guys are traumatizing my children, you guys, and then calling someone and this is the thing. If you are a creator with 300,000 subs and you are attacking somebody, I think I saw Megan say like, oh well, she had 500 Christina, I mean, had 500, followers on TikTok, and it didn't matter. That's disproportionate, right?
It's very unfair, but it's not turning out the way that she anticipated for sure. Like
No,
this is not going the way she had thought.
no,
And I
definitely
love
not. It didn't land.
Oh, Anderson, you are
Yeah.
trouble.
You guys are all awesome. Okay. Hi, Candy Temple. Carolina, we called the trolls if we disagree with Laura, Megan, or Trisha. They will block you. I don't get into their chats. I do leave comments though. Yeah, they don't want. I like to consider that like the echo chamber. If you have a difference of opinion, you're not welcome on their turf, right? So you can't criticize anything that they have to say or do. And that's why there's people that have come out of the woodwork speaking against them. Because like we were saying about their hidden gems, I have nothing against hidden gems, but there was a lot of them that don't know about the drama going on, right? They just take her word at face value. But it's dangerous. There's dangerous talk when you're calling a young mother a stalker and you're trying to go real life and bring charges on her and lock her up, right?
And you have to
That's
be
a huge
careful
problem.
about the amount of people you block too. You can't just go blocking everybody because then you won't have anybody, right? So, I mean,
Right.
it has to, for me to block someone, it has to be really bad. I don't just feel, I'm not just like, that feels like bristly to me. I'm going to block you, right? But that's how they act. Like if they don't like you, they will just like, if you talk about anything they don't like, they'll block you. It's weird.
Right, right. And that's kind of the delusion of we'll just say creators. We want to just use them because there's a ton of them like that. They only want people that reflect back to what they're trying to present to the world. Critical thinking is just not okay in their book. If you have a mind of your own and think for yourself and have your own opinions about them. Listen, not everybody is likable. Not everybody is going to like everybody. I stopped watching them years ago. For much of the reasons I've spoken about. I didn't know the half of it clearly. But they don't want anyone to clearly think for themselves. And that becomes a dangerous slippery slope where you just want people to be a minion and to think and do as you do. The beauty of life is to have different opinions and be able to be like, okay, like I always say, I have this opinion today, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to have this opinion forever. You give me more information and I'll critically think about that information, and I will change my mind or I won't.
Well, the ex hidden gems like to come to my page and do exactly what they are accusing me of. They'll be like, "You're a mean girl. You suck. Your page sucks. You're jelly. You're high school." And I just replied to this one person. I'm like, I listed off all those things. They literally said all of that to me. And I'm like, this is like the meanest post I've gotten in a long time. And you sound very high school to me. So it seems to me like it's a lot of rules for thee, but not me. You're telling me that I'm doing everything that you've come to my page to do.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to her page and do it. I did it I talked about her on my page. So shoot, if you don't like it.
Right. And that everybody has the will. This is the thing too. Like there are a bunch of burner, we'll call them burner accounts on YouTube. I have comparatively to a lot of creators, I have like just under 2,000 subscribers, and I'm okay with that, right? I'm totally fine with that. I just come on here to do my thing, and it is what it is. Do I want subs? Of course. Do I want people to watch? Of course. But there's these random accounts that come over here, like you said, just to put me down, just to say I'm mediocre, just to say I'm this, that. Like, no one, first of all, I really am a nobody. So you had to hunt me out.
I mean,
how are you?
So, like, you're not telling me anything I don't know. Like, sometimes I do suck. Sometimes I am jelly. I do want to make money, but I'm not all of those things either. Two things can be true at once. And Lauren is all of those things too. So, and imagine living a life where your main goal is to defend Lauren. Like, wow. That's all you have to do in your life is defend Lauren. That's like sad.
It is sad. And the thing is too, is like these people, not for nothing. Like I love all my subs. I love all, and I know quite a few, and there's new ones that I absolutely adore. And I want people to want to be here, right? I don't want, and my thing is misleading to gain popularity and to gain money. If I have to be inauthentic to gain money, to gain subs, to all you can have it. I like to be exactly who I am, and if you don't want to watch me, I suggest you don't, because I promise you're going to continue to not like me.
Amy, don't you think it's exhausting to be Lauren? Because this is kind of like what we were just talking about. Like, it's just exhausting to be someone you're not, and it just must be so exhausting to be her.
It has to be, and the lying and who you're telling lies to, and talk. Listen, like talk about jealous, right? Like she couldn't even deal with another YouTube creator who she has collaborated with in the past. I like Gigi from Pretty Lies and Alibis. I've always been a fan. I thought she was really authentic, right? She showed us who she is, and she's just. Of course she wants to make money just like everybody else. Of course she wants subs and to get on. Of course. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you are presenting as someone's friend, or you're trying to ruin them behind the scenes, pretend, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. When you're bamboozling, or you're trying to hurt people behind the scenes and presenting to be this like victim or goody two shoes. I have a problem with that. Like, at least if you're going to be an asshole, sorry guys, if you're going to be an a-hole, just be an asshole, right? Like, just don't be like, oh look, we're friends, and then when you're even not, like even Andrea Birchmore, sorry, Burkhart, she didn't really have those necessary opinions about Andrea. In my opinion, this is my opinion, it's jealousy, just like Gigi, just like they're threatening to her. And so what are you going to do with a threatening individual, a threatening creator, a journalist, right? If they want to identify as a journalist, they can identify as a journalist. Who am I, right? I'm not a journalist. I don't have any creative talent. I don't. I'm just a girl on the internet. But to thank you. In my own way, right? In my own way. I don't create, right? There are a ton of creators.
You're not like a real, you're not a real journalist, okay? But either am I. So
right. I don't have media credentials. I don't have any of those. I don't have a studio.
Not like Lauren. So nobody's like her.
Yeah. And and that comes through on the camera. Right. And that comes through, and her inauthentic self shine to me, shine through way before this. And this just kind of like solidified. But the one I am more shocked at Dr. John than I am at Lauren. It's almost expected of her, because you look at her and you're like, yeah, that tracks. And the balls of people to come on to the internet thinking that people aren't going to sleuth. We literally sleuth for fun, a hobby. People like you and I, we look into case. I'm not being paid. I'm not a defense lawyer. I'm not a prosecutor. I look into cases because I'm interested. If the balls of somebody and the ego of someone to think that you can lie or misrepresent yourself and sleuthing people aren't going to look into you is wild, right? Is wild. It's wild to me. And then to be offended when you're found out, or who knows if they're found out? Who knows what? I mean, documents document, and it looks as if they're disingenuous. But to think that people weren't going to look you up, and that's literally what people like you and I and people in our chats do for fun. Like on my spare time when I'm off of work or doing whatever, I look into cases and I look into people.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what people do for shits and giggles, and even lawyers on their free time are doing it. And, professional police officers, detectives, everybody's doing it. It's like everybody does it.
Right. Everybody. Yeah. So let's kind of shift gears here. What were I have my trusty notepad here. You gave us the idea of this. 2025. What cases were, say, your top 3 that you followed or you were interested in, or that adjudicated that maybe you were surprised about? What are your top 2025 cases that stand out to you?
I think the ones that stood out were, this one, Hidden True Crime, has stood way out for me. Sarah Boone, the Boone case, we covered that. She had her trial, and that in February, and that's really stood out for me. And we were covering Gypsy Rose Blanchard at the beginning of the year. That one has really stood out for me. Although I backed away from the Gypsy Rose case because Gypsy Rose's side was relentless with the doxing. They were going, like threats. Like it just got really scary, and to the point where I wasn't interested in being subjected to that. So those were the 3 cases that I really went into. But maybe the Delphi case too. So that's 4.
Nice. Yeah, the Delphi case. So tell me, so I haven't probably followed the Gypsy Rose enough, right? I know that she got out of jail, and if you want to elaborate on that, I see some of my viewers who are a lot of Karen Reed. We've been very into that the past few years. If you could just elaborate on the Gypsy Rose of what's going on with her.
Well, Gypsy Rose is the woman who, along with her boyfriend Nick Godejohn, unalived her mother Dee Dee Claudine Blanchard. She got basically 10 years. He got life. She's out. Recently, all these new FOIA documents that Into the Weeds podcast. I was really looking forward to Amber coming on because I thought she would be able to give us an update. I hope she feels better though.
Yes, same.
She's gotten a lot of the FOIA documents and has just been thorn in Gypsy Rose's side for a very long time, and I love it. But when Gypsy Rose got out, she was married. She cheated on that guy with another guy and got pregnant. Now she has a little girl. And the big thing that's out now is that when Gypsy Rose was dating Nick Godejohn, and this was all a rumor, like we hadn't seen the video, but then there was a text that came out. But I remember this was the thing that I was the most upset about when I found out she was pregnant. I remember saying, I hope she doesn't have a girl, because she told Nick Godejohn that when their daughter turns 13, that she would have to give her V card over to their dad, and that was just their way of life, and they would live a secretive way. And she tried to tell everybody that it was Nick that told her and made her say that. And she even went on the Teen Mom show. I can't remember.
Did she?
The Teen Mom show, and told Kayla that it was all Nick's fault. And now there's a video that's come out that it's her telling Nick that this is what's going to be done. So it's proving that she has these P ways, these ex-offender with ways, and it's really doing a number on her right now.
Yeah,
she gave her 9 million TikTok to her friend Bree, who just got arrested for having rugs, the M1, the ME. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that one. So
the stuff that makes you not blink. Yeah,
they're calling her Bree with the rugs.
Wow.
But so she just got arrested for that on Christmas or the day after Christmas, but she gave her 9 million TikTok account to her friend, which that's against the law, the guidelines to do that. But right. So that's what Gypsy Rose, it's pretty much being proven that this girl should still be in prison, and is not, and that she was the mastermind behind all of this, and she just still keeps going. She keeps trying.
I truly believe that too. I truly believe that she was the mastermind behind it. I don't know. Can I ask you a question about her? Now, I Liquid G. Yeah, exactly. Someone just said it's Liquid G. One of my mods, Christine, she said, my problem with Gypsy is she's never taken a responsibility for her role in Dee Dee's homicide. I also don't think Nick should be the only one with life. Yeah, well, it's because he actually did the unaliving, correct?
Well,
and then she was
sick. She was really sick. The mother wasn't just dragging her to the doctors and making her do all of these things. She has a micro deletion issue, and it causes it's why she looks the way she looks. I mean, back in the old days, they used to call them pinheads for the non-PC term. And they, like, if you ever saw that like freak show where it's the I did a whole thing on it. I can't think of they were a famous brother and sister. They had the micro deletion, but they call them pinheads in the show. And that's what she is. And it's just a small brain. And there's a chromosomal deletion that she's missing. And she has, it makes her drool, so they had to take out some of her salivary glands so that she wouldn't like have this excessive drooling. She has problems with digesting and swallowing food. That's why they put in the feeding tube. She had a failure to thrive. her all of her medical records were released. Her stepmother Christy released all of her medical records to this woman, this creator named Fancy. Fancy and Christy had a falling out, and then Fancy released all of the medical records to the public. And it has been shown that every single thing that she had done to her, she needed to have done. And that it's also coming out in these new FOIA that Gypsy was lying to her mom, telling her mom that she couldn't walk. And so her mom really was trying to figure out why she couldn't walk, but Gypsy was lying and saying she couldn't walk.
So just a born manipulator. So this isn't to say that her mother wasn't sick, because
her mother was a kind woman through and through. And probably if her mother were alive today, she would need to go to prison herself for all the con jobs she did. But she did not have Munchausen by proxy, and Gypsy did plot and schmert. And this is just all my opinion, but from everything that I have read, and I do believe that that girl was the mastermind, and she brought an autistic boy into it. And do I think Nick should be out? No. But I don't, if anybody should be out, it would be him over her. Because I feel like we put Manson away, but we didn't put Gypsy away for life.
Right.
Because she pretends to be this little girl. She has this little girl persona. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. She's a sicko. Oh, Cashew, that was another thing too. Whatever. So she had come out that she was pregnant with her ex-husband that she cheated on with, and I don't know who the father was supposedly was. She did not have a child. Can we all take a sigh of relief for that? Not saying that women don't deserve to. Gypsy, she does not have a child, correct?
No, she does. She has a daughter.
Oh, she does have. I didn't know that she actually gave birth to the daughter.
She gave birth to a daughter. She has a daughter.
That is horrifying.
And the daughter just turned 1. So she's got 12 more years.
That's horrifying.
Yeah,
that's horrifying. I didn't realize that she actually had the baby. I remember her being pregnant. This is how out of touch I am with the Gypsy Rose. I have followed it minimally in the past few years. I didn't realize that does she have custody of said child?
Yeah. But it was rumored, and this is coming from Nina, so she always says that they're breaking up, so you can take it with a grain of salt. But she did say that Ken took the baby after seeing all of it, took the baby and like they're separated right now, and he's going to use the tapes to get her. But I don't know. There's also him like 2 weeks when they first started coming out, he was saying, good, I hope they all come out. So I don't know.
Wow. In every case that I've gotten into, it's like an onion that has to be peeled back, and there's so many layers to sickness, right? The hurt.
Yeah, and this case is really like trailer trash. It's just really trashy. There's just so much trashiness about it. I could tell you like so much trash about like the bad behavior behind creators and Gypsy and her friends, and just the low blows that everyone has gone to, and all for what? This girl who basically murdered her mom. I can't even imagine defending that.
Right, because the kid would have never known anything or been put up to it. And if you love someone with autism, that there's levels of influence and vulnerability and easily influenced. Not all. There's a spectrum, right?
He didn't want to do it before it happened. It's like, can't we just run away? Can't we just do something else? And she's like, no.
Right.
And then she lied to him and said that she was pregnant and that her mother made her have this feeding tube. And because she made her have the feeding tube change, she lost the baby. And so he thought that the mom made her lose the baby. And I mean, it's just crazy. Our world is crazy.
It is crazy. It is.
Gypsy Rose case, because I have a real mother wound. It really, it just really scratches my injustice, like outrage. Like because there's absolutely nothing you can do about that, right? You can't do
Nothing.
anything about it. You just have to
Mm-mm.
let time and hopefully karma play its whatever, and it just drives me crazy.
Right. Her case is a prime example of tunnel thinking, right? Like
Yeah.
people, not even us having two things can be true at the same time. Was her mother likely mentally and abusive? Like you said, she's a con artist, right? Growing up with a mother like that can't be easy. She had a lot of medical issues and everything. But she too, hold on one second. One moment. Um, she too, it's mind-blowing that, apples don't fall far from the trees. And if she was a con from that young and was able to con someone else into doing her dirty work for her so that she was hands off, and look, she got what, 10 years because she was the frail little sick child. And there's people out there that it does not matter what evidence you put in front of them that she's not a good person. She could be a victim and not a good person at the same time, right? But they put blinders on. It's like, nope, she's a victim, she can't do anything wrong, I'm gonna blindly support her. Don't blindly support anybody. I don't care who it is. Don't blindly, I mean, you don't have to do it what I say, but blindly supporting anybody without saying two things can be true at the same time is dangerous, in my opinion.
I'm not even sure she's a victim anymore. I think she's a
No.
perpetrator, and I don't even think she's a victim. I think she did the victimization at this point.
Yeah. I mean, she victimized the little boy on the spectrum
She tried
who
to kill mother. She tried to shoot her. She shot her with a BB gun before this herself and couldn't, like, it didn't work. I think she tried to do it another time. So she tried to do it herself twice and then couldn't, and then she got this guy to do it. So, I mean,
Absolutely.
and the mother was just ever trying to figure out what was wrong with her daughter. And you could see that once she was diagnosed with the microdeletion, her trips to the doctors slowed down, way down, because they knew what was wrong, because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her until the microdeletion. And I think the microdeletion, and just, I mean, I haven't looked at her records in over a year. So I think the microdeletion was diagnosed when she was like 18, 19, and then it slowed way down. So I don't know.
Wow.
But she did like lie and say she had leukemia and stuff like that when she didn't. And she got her like free trips and stuff.
Right. The Make-A-Wish, right?
Yeah.
The Make-A-Wish, and it's two sides of the same coin. It's, she likely learned cunning, manipulative ways from her mother, but that doesn't make her not one, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't, and she assisted. There's no way that you're going to tell me that, that a young person like that, because how old was she when the mother passed away?
20. It's about to turn 24.
Okay, so she was older. So you're not going to tell me, maybe when she was like a toddler, she didn't know that she was going to walk. But when you're a school age and your wherewithal, she knew that she wasn't ridden to a wheelchair.
She told her mom she couldn't walk, and her mom believed her.
Okay. I think you just said that. My apologies. You're right. Okay. So,
No, it's okay,
she preying on her own mother.
Believe, like, you just have to wipe everything that you believed about Gypsy, that like everything you think that she's a victim of, tell me, and I could probably tell you she's not, right? I could tell you otherwise. So you just have to believe that Gypsy Rose I believe is a psychopath, and that her mother was a grifter and taught her these ways. But I think her mother was terrified of Gypsy, and she created a monster by giving her everything she ever wanted. And
That's so interesting.
And she was getting all of this medical stuff, but it's coming out that she was like selling it on, like she was selling this stuff. So, I mean, that's more grifting on both their ways, and they were using substances together. And yeah, it was an unhealthy relationship, but nobody deserves to die.
The enmeshment. Yeah. I mean, she could have just walked away. right? She could have just went off with the boy, and I mean, right then and there, she purposely, in my opinion, this is all my opinion, speculation, don't come for me. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a doctor, I'm nothing. This is just my opinion as a girl that watches a lot of court cases. She seems like she knows exactly what she's doing.
Yeah.
As soon as she came out of, yeah, she's so good at it, and she plays the victim really well. Where have you seen that? A lot of people who played the victim are also are in my opinion, that I've seen, they're usually the worst ones of them all, because you have to be like, if look how sad I am, don't you see what they're doing to me? Meanwhile, they're the puppets orchestrating all the chaos in the background, right? How many times have we seen that time and time again?
Capable of changing, like they're just incapable, and they just have, like, a psychopath will do what a psychopath does, a narcissist, whatever. They will do what they do, and they're just incapable of it. And we're always trying to wrap our minds around, like, how, why, but they just, once you just get to the point where you're like, well, that's just, they're just not given that ability. Like, there's nothing that, if you believe in God or whatever, put in them. They just don't have that ability, and they will never have that ability. Then it makes it a lot easier for me.
Yeah, the psychopath mindset has always fascinated me, because as someone with anxiety who's like hyper vigilant to like all feelings, and like absorbing other people's feelings around me, and having a conscience, things that keep you up at night, right? These people have no conscience. They do not, they do not take you into consideration whatsoever. Like, it just the thought of it doesn't even cross their mind. And that's the most dangerous personality disorder to have, right? Is to not have empathy, and not be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes and care whether you hurt somebody.
I came across this video about this psychologist who is a psychopath, and she told about her childhood and growing up, and just like really not having, like, didn't have the ability to care or feel for other people, and that she knew she didn't feel the way other people feel, and she did engage in criminal behaviors at one point in her life, but then she realized that it was more comfortable to live in society under the rules of society. And so she doesn't engage in those behaviors because it's more comfortable for her to engage in societal rules. And that's the only reason.
That's so interesting.
Not so it's comfortable for us or any, it's just more comfortable for her, because I think she got in trouble and had to spend the night in jail. And she just realized that wasn't for her comfort level. It was all about her. Like, not that I did something wrong, just that it was very uncomfortable for me.
That, hey, you got to get there some way, right? And
right.
Like, if people would do societal norms, because there's some people that really just don't get. And the thing is too, is like, when people think of a psychopath, they think of the Brian Kobergers of the world, right? The John Wayne Gacy's, all that. No, there are psychopaths that live among us and walk among us and are at your job and are at the grocery store and are it does not take a serial unaliving in order for you to be a psychopath.
No,
they're everywhere, right? And so the fact that she could even identify the fact that she's like, well, this is making me uncomfortable. How dare you make me uncomfortable? So she had to conform, or said person had to conform in order to make themselves feel. That's hysterical. Yeah. Hey, self-awareness, right?
Yeah.
Some self-awareness.
Very aware. But Gypsy Rose, I think, is that. So, What about you? Cases of the year?
Cases. So okay. So 2025 seemed like the year of the plea deals, of really big cases that I wish, for selfish reasons, I wish that I found out all the information about, because I'd followed them since day one. Brian Koberger, Stephen Stearns, right? Those are really hard cases for some people to follow. I get it. Those ones, they pled out, and stuff. Yeah. So that was a little tough. Not tough for me. I feel you know, because it didn't dawn on me that like the Koberger, the families of the 4 kids, we have just as much information as they did. And that breaks my heart for them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the Koberger, the Idaho 4 is a crazy case. It's so scary because, where I went to college, I lived in a group house like that with a bunch of people, and it did make you feel safer knowing that there were people all around you, but seeing that, it's like, oh my gosh, we were so unsafe, and we were supposed to lock the door at 10 and nobody ever did. So,
yeah. And party kids and kids of that age, you don't think of, because I like to on my show I go over a lot of like abusers, like a child abuse. It's never the boogeyman. This was literally the boogeyman, right?
yeah.
This is what nightmares are made of.
But
and you look at Brian Kober.
Do you think he went to parties there? Do you think he showed up at some parties there?
In my opinion, I think that he stalked. I think from all accounts, he was a peeping Tom and like to watch them. He was a vegan. He is a vegan, and 2 of the girls, I think it was Maddie and Kaylee, they worked at a vegan restaurant in Moscow. And so whether he saw them and became infatuated with them there, and no one knows, right? But there's too many. I don't believe in coincidence either, though. Yeah. I don't think that he had the social cues to actually go to.
I have weird theories that like are based in like nothingness, but I believe that Brian was after Maddie, because after I saw Maddie's boyfriend, I was like, oh, he was going after Maddie, because Maddie's boyfriend was a little nerdy. And this is just how I put it in my, like, I could just see Brian seeing this boyfriend and thinking, if Maddie will go for a guy like that, she'll go for me. Like, so I always thought that he was going after Maddie. That was my personal opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And, they say too that, Dr. John said he wasn't an incel and this and that. He gave him way too much credit, and it was almost uncomfortable for me, Amy. It was uncomfortable for me to hear it. But the incel nature of him, where he also thought that he deserved better than the probably the women, because he wasn't an incel where he didn't get offered relationships or fornication or anything like that. That wasn't the case. He thought that someone like Maddie, and this is my opinion, someone like Maddie or Kaylee, like he deserved that. Like, why don't you like me? Why don't you see my greatness? Not saying that someone like him can't get someone as attractive or as stereotypically attractive as they were, but in his mind, he deserved a girl like them, and they didn't like him.
Maybe if his personality was like good, he could have got somebody like them, but his personality was like rotten to the core. Amen. And also, I want to say Dr. Yon did a really horrible job on analysis with Sarah Boone. The analysis was horrible. He like propped her up and was like, I feel like she learned something in the 4 or 5 years she was in jail waiting for it. Are you kidding me? She went through like 7, 8, 12, 50 lawyers. I can't even, she's on 13 right now. What did she learn? Who are you? Are you really a doctor? Because
right. Anyway, I agree. And too, and this is, people are like, oh, people use their time to rehabilitate in jail. No, they become better criminals in jail. Yeah. And this is my opinion. This is my experience with criminals, and from what I've researched, it's not. There's you can't rehabilitate someone whose interest is in children. That's a deep-seated, my opinion. I'm not a doctor, but from what I know, there's no pill for that, right? There's no fixing that. Sorry. One of your viewers, Nick, his analysis of Koberger was discussing. Yeah, it's almost like he's symptom, right? He was a simp for, just like he's a simp for God, what's the other one there? It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember. But he talking about
So
he was an apologist for Kohlberger, and he was like, "Oh, well, it's almost like he identified." This is the vibe that I got through the screen. That he okay, hold on, wait, back it up, Amy, back it up. So when Lauren Matthias would talk about Chad Daybell, right? I don't know if you I don't know if you ever watched them, but I watched them back then. And Lauren would make fun of Chad Daybell's physical appearance, and he looked like a potato and he was unattractive and all of these things. Now, there's someone for everybody, right? There's someone for everyone.
but
She
John
would
and
make
him
fun.
look a lot alike, so that's funny.
Exactly. And you could tell that how uncomfortable it made John. You could
Because
tell, like
somebody
he like
looked like the guy from the Family Guy called Chad, and I always thought John looked like the guy from the Family Guy. So
he does. Actually, he looks like Gypsy Rose's mom. That if someone put them two
too.
together,
That too.
oh my god, they're like and actually Gypsy Rose's husband, the one she cheated on,
Yeah, I was
resembled her
just
mother
thinking
too.
that, which means he looks like Ryan.
Yeah, wicked. Yeah, and
And
so
look like mother.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, and so but so with her, it was almost like John was like like he was like it was just it was uncomfortable, it was weird, like he was simping for Chad Daybell too, who thought that he was a prophet and like thought that he was smarter than everybody else. It's like the projection factor of it all, right?
Yeah, Chad to me seemed like somebody who was like a prophet pushed into it and then got a little greedy with a little taste of power, and then that's what happened. I don't think that Chad set out to be a cult leader.
No, the perfect storm of horribleness, like
I don't think he's that smart.
No,
I think Lori's smarter.
Right,
but
right. Yes.
So you followed the Karen Read. So Karen Read, I didn't follow at all.
Oh Lord, honey. This is yes. I came on to the following the Karen Read case. I obviously am from Massachusetts, from Boston. I live in Norfolk County.
Yeah.
And it happened in this county. There was nothing as sensational as these cases necessarily, but corruption, right? Boston in general has a long history of corruption. And
it does.
The good old boys, right?
Yeah. The Wire.
Yeah, exactly. Thin blue line, everybody covering for someone, whether it be directly or indirectly. And there were a lot of police at this house. That Officer John O'Keefe, who was a Boston cop, he was found dead on the front lawn of another Boston police officer's lawn. There was an ATF agent there that night. The family whose lawn John was found on, God rest his soul, was a very connected family in Canton, Massachusetts, which is right outside of Boston.
And doesn't it seem like I'm the only one in the world who didn't follow it? I feel like I was.
Yeah, that could have been a very divisive case as well. People had strong opinions about it. I'm one of those people have strong opinions that Karen Read is innocent, right?
Oh, and you thought? I was just gonna ask. Well, what did you think? Was she innocent or guilty?
Yeah. She was set up. She was. It was. It's like that us or them.
Turtle Boy and his. How did he get involved in that case?
Turtle Boy is a local blogger, right, or journalist, and he has had an article. He's written articles for many years, and he has exposed just bad behavior around the Massachusetts area, right? So he's been doing this for a very long time. So he's done local cases of corruption. He's actually exposed the Mass State Police overtime scandals and things like that. So he's a local journalist here. And he got information about the Karen Reed. I remember the day it happened. It was a snowstorm, and it was like, oh, that poor girl. She hit her boyfriend with the car during a snowstorm. Like, tragic, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so he got information from a third party and started doing investigating the case, and was given, just like every other journalist, have sources. And he has a YouTube platform that was much smaller back then. And he just started doing segments or shows on it, and kind of just breaking down the players and how people are connected, and essentially it morphed into a movement of and Aiden was the journalist that was uncovering everything on his YouTube platform. And he's actually facing a witness intimidation charges here in Massachusetts for trying to get information from people who were there that night, and because of who they know and the government here, he has several witness intimidation charges that he is facing due to trying to interview people that were at the house that night, and or his YouTube platform.
Just interviewing, so he's gotten intimidation from that?
Yeah, so you know how like back in the day, like gumshoes, like old school reporters used to pop out on your lawn and be like, Power Women Radio, I have a question to ask you. What happened? Why?
Kind of like Nate Eaton in Hawaii with Lori.
Yeah. So he essentially did that to people who were at the blizzard party, they called it, that John O'Keefe ended up dead on the front lawn that night.
Oh, so he had the nerve to do it to police officers, so he got in trouble. Yeah.
So yes, yeah, and the police officer's family member.
Oh.
And essentially he was going against the Commonwealth's narrative of Karen Reed hit her husband in a fit of rage that night. But in actuality, all the evidence, I critical thinking, right? I started looking at all of the information of all, there's so much evidence to say. I don't know who what happened to him that night.
Oh, so you don't know why they actually killed him? Like, what is your thought on why?
I don't know who did it. I just know that it wasn't Karen Reed.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the scapegoat. I think that this is what I think. Okay, because
Does Karen have a theory?
Yes. So she was just acquitted back in the spring. And now there's a civil suit against her. It said that the owner, Brian Albert, who was he was a Boston police officer for 25 plus years in the fugitive unit. One of his friends, Brian Higgins, who is an ATF agent in Boston, was also there, and he was he had a crush on Karen. That they were drinking that night, and things may have gotten out of control, and instead, they may have panicked in the house, and John may have hit his head. Something happened in the house, and he ended up on the front lawn. What I think happened is they panicked, they put him out on the front lawn, and they were going to blame the plow guy. Right? How many times, I don't know what state you're in, if it snows, but the plows are huge, and they can.
Yeah, I'm from Michigan, but I'm in Florida.
Oh, so yeah. So I think that originally, and then she came snooping, looking for him. The last place she saw him, and found him dead on the lawn, incapacitated.
So you think he went to the house and confronted the friend that was getting a little too friendly with them? They got into a fight. It went too far. They stuck him outside because they were going to let the plow guy hit him, but Karen came instead, and so they blamed her.
Definitely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And this is another thing too. So she wasn't originally charged with second-degree unaliving. They upped the charges, and this is my guess. I think that they upped her charges so that it would force her hand into a plea deal for her to plead guilty, so that she wouldn't go to jail. And she said, "Nope, I'm not doing it." And she kept taking it to trial. She took it to 2 trials, and she was finally found innocent of it. No one's been held responsible for John's murder, and it's really unfortunate, right? It's because he was somebody's son. He was somebody's he was a dad that he was raising his niece and nephew. His sister died, and it's just tragic all around. And yeah, it's sad. It's sad. But in any case, we stuck up, and we looked at the evidence, and the evidence was so blatantly it was not her, and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts kept doubling down and making up wild stories. Like the evidence was so bad that in the second trial they didn't even bring back any of the witnesses because the witnesses were so horrible during the first trial.
Yeah, I know people went for it, but also I was still healing from a lot of trauma. I was still like I was a different person at the beginning of the year than I am now. So I went through a lot of healing this year.
Excellent.
So
what was your biggest takeaway
too, right?
I'm sorry.
You do the JonBenét Ramsey case too, right?
I do. Yeah, that one's fascinating.
I'm interested in that case. That case has always interested me.
Yeah. I mean, how does the little girl end up dead in the
It's a
house?
P-ring that did it? Is that right? You think it's a P-ring?
Yeah. So Colorado, I found out during my research recently of this, is that Colorado is riddled with PDF files. Yeah. And the Ramseys belonged to a church, and everyone connected to the church has some dirt on their hands, and people connected to the Ramseys are questionable. The government is questionable there. And so I think with JonBenét Ramsey, it's purposely not resolved. My opinion. Do
you think the parents had anything to do with it?
I don't think that they did it to her by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think it was her brother. I think her brother was a victim like she was.
Like she was just rented out that day and something happened or something? Like that
in my
type of deal?
opinion.
Or
Yeah,
did they know what was happening to her, or did they like not know? That's what I'm asking, I guess.
I think that there was a cover-up because of what they did know of other people. The ransom note was weird, right? 8 pages.
Yeah, that looks really weird. That's why I don't understand. Like the whole note thing is really weird.
It was like the exact
pad. That's weird. And her writing and her 911 call is weird too.
The whole thing.
But I'm just trying to. If it was,
I don't think they knew.
If it was a ring, then were they in the ring or were they just associated with the ring? That's what I'm trying to understand. Were Patsy and John in the ring or just associated with people in the ring?
I did hear that John has been accused of his own dirt with children. Don't know if it's true or not. That's just what people have said. I think that, because he was like a hedge fund. Boulder's a very affluent area. And hold on one second. Sorry.
They were flying to Michigan too. I had this, how Kevin, there's the, is it the 5 degrees or 6 degrees? I always get the degree part wrong of Kevin Bacon, but the same thing is true for Michigan and any true crime. You can always link it back, any case back to Michigan. It's weird, but it can happen. It's weird.
Absolutely. I really don't think that she had anything to, I just think that there was some type of cover up. I don't think her brother had anything to do with it. I think he was a victim of something.
Yeah, I
She
think
was
the
in
brother
those
had
pageants and stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, I found something out interesting that they were brought up, they were going to be charged with neglect or putting their child in harm's way. So what that was, what was the situation that they were putting their kids in or John
Yeah.
Bonet in? And I hate to blame parents because having a young child, like you want to do what's right. They were in pageants and stuff, but something happened that night, and there's people being untruthful.
Well, I think it's
Right.
weird that Trisha, who supports Lauren and John from Web Sleuths, would go to CrimeCon and want to go after John at CrimeCon. That's weird. I think, like, I get if you believe that maybe he did something, but I don't think CrimeCon would be the place to do it. Just like CrimeCon would not be the place to call the police.
Right. Well, that's the thing too. I don't care what anybody believes. I don't think people should be going real life to begin with. Like you were saying, like the Gypsy Rose people are doxing and this and that.
Yeah.
Stop being dangerous. Like if you think that they have something to do with it, you don't need to cause a scene and like call this grieving dad who's been.
You just don't need to be showing up at people's houses or calling their jobs or their family, writing letters to, parents. And this just doesn't need to be done. It could be like, no, just don't do it.
Right. Right. And if you want to look into it and you can have your opinions and you can voice them like this, that's one thing. But to go after this dad with no real proof of anything, and I've seen it and time again with people being doxxed and calling jobs and going after family members and stuff like that. Stop doing that. Right.
Yeah, just stop. Who's Cox? You
I'm
mean Cox, who are we? What? They say your backseat juror. What is that? Who's Cox? Well, no, the other one that you had up. Yeah, backseat juror, the one you just had up. Wait, that's crazy. It's above the one you're reading right now.
Oh, wait, that's
Michigan.
crazy. Wasn't Cox working in Michigan when John O'Keefe died? Our police, police commissioner, our police commissioner Cox. What's his? Hold on, let me look. He's our police commissioner.
Well, even Epstein has ties now to Michigan. The first person that he trafficked is supposedly from Michigan. So, like, I'm telling you, try it. You will find every case you look at. If you tried it, it will link back to Michigan in some way. It's weird. But I never tried it with other states because I was from Michigan. So maybe it's like every state you could link something back to it. I don't know. But Michigan, you can do it.
Right. And not for nothing too, the Ramseys, people are like, oh, they're connected to Epstein. Well, he was a hedge fund person and Epstein was a financial advisor. Just because they were in the same room together does not make them associated. A lot of people try to stretch and try to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked deeply into it. But it was some kind of boarding school that in Michigan that he plucked her from.
To my backseat juror aim, she's named me too. She just said 6 degrees of Michigan. That's funny. Michael Cox, he's the Boston police commissioner. Yeah, I don't know if he was in Michigan before, but he has his hands in Karen Read too, trying to tell officers not to do the right thing, right? Don't tell what you really know or what you saw or whatnot. Stay out of it, right? You could be guilty by omission. Like if you don't try to help somebody, you're guilty by omission. So it's all another thing. You know what? Another case that fascinated me. I don't know if you followed it. The Puff Daddy Sean Combs case. Yeah,
that was a crazy one, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to get out earlier than sooner, or sooner than later.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
Which is terrifying for the people that went and testified against him, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's kind of like what the more power you have, the more you get away with, right? Even when you have evidence right in your face, people still have willful ignorance, and you're just like, well, but he makes us money.
Yeah.
Scary.
Are there any cases that you're looking forward to?
Yeah. The sheriff, Mike Stearns, the one who shot the judge.
Yeah, the
Fascinated.
Kentucky one.
And Tyler Robinson, I think too. That one.
Tell me, Tyler Robinson, what did he do?
He is accused of the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think he did it by himself?
I don't think so. I think that there's a bigger picture here. Like he's kind of like a patsy, right? Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Sarah Grace Patrick, and I'm hoping that the Alexi Treviso case goes through. I know she was charged, and I'm really hoping. But I was in somebody's chat today. Tanika's 2 Cents did a live stream with From the Sofa with Paul and 2 other content creators, and I was in chat, and we were talking about this case, and somebody said that they don't think like she's gonna get like found guilty, which is so surprising to me.
She's disgusting. So is her mother. Her mother knew she was pregnant, in my opinion. Yep.
Horrible.
Yep. And like, how come she's been able to stay out of jail and like go to college and stuff when there's so many things wrong with that case, and even like the cheerleader too. She gave birth and then went to McDonald's and had a burger in the car, and she's out too. Why is all that okay?
I don't know. They really let girls off a lot easier than boys, I think, and also they're more middle girls at that.
Yes, I agree. And people there's too like the whole like, oh, did the baby take a breath and this and that. I just there's so many options, and you could have there's safe havens everywhere.
She was in a hospital.
She was in a hospital and continued to lie as she sat there with the police. And the mother, you told me you weren't. She looked pregnant in her cheerleading outfit. She was clearly pregnant.
There's this small channel called Girl Friday. I think that's the name of it. And she does a really good, Girl Friday. She does a really good job of this case. She's she works at a law firm. I don't know her exact role, but she's really good at covering it. So if anybody's interested in the case, I recommend Girl Friday's channel.
Oh, cool. Let me pull it up. Hold on. You said Girl Friday? Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Put it
it's very basic. I don't know if she's changed up her editing style, but it's pretty basic editing, and it's really easy to understand. And I like it.
Here.
Might be bigger now. No, it's still smaller.
Let's see. Girl Friday. I'm not seeing, and that's the channel name.
Yeah, Girl Friday. Girl, it looks like it's Girl_Friday.
Oh, okay, that's where.
I don't know. Can I put a link in chat?
Yeah, of course. Oh, here she is, right here.
I don't know if they'll let me.
Yeah, everybody go over there and give. Oh, I'm actually already subscribed to her. Oh, Great Minds Think Alike game. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's pull her up. I am all about the Treviso. Someone just said too about Corey Richins. What do you think about that case?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. That's a fascinating case to me too. That's the mom that wrote the children's book, right? And then unalived her.
That's right.
Her husband. Yeah. That's a fascinating case. I don't know. I believe she did it. I think she did it, but the little that I've looked into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. that she and what kind of this is another thing too, kind of like the Richard Allen case when they keep cameras out. Why keep cameras out? Why not be as transparent as possible so that people like us don't have to speculate, right?
Mhm.
That they don't
Yeah.
have to, yeah. So they're keeping cameras out with that, I
I
believe.
hate that. I hate when they don't let the cameras go in the courtroom. I hated it with the Delphi case because I feel like there will forever be more and more, even more questions. Although I want to start going to some trials, so I don't know. Maybe
Oh,
that'll
that
be
would be
what I do.
cool.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Actually, Richard Allen has an appeal going on. I just watched Andrea's breakdown of everything. Tragic, that case too. It's not about I hope Libby and Abby get justice, but the
Yeah.
person that's in jail might not be that justice. It
Yeah.
might be
I
still
don't know
walking
who did
around.
it. Yeah, I don't know if
Me
he
either.
did it or he didn't do it, but I know he didn't get a fair trial.
That's right. That that's right. That's right. Even just being in prison while you're awaiting trial is a
Outrageous.
right. And if you're going to think justice and injustice for one person, you have to think about it for everyone. It doesn't matter whether you think he's guilty or not. He could be. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I do know that the disservice that the justice system brought to Abby and Libby by just having him locked up in prison before awaiting a trial.
Who's Andrea and who? Because I want to go watch the breakdown.
Oh,
Andrea
Andrea Burkhart. She
Andrea
is
Burkhart.
part. Yeah, she's a lawyer.
Okay.
She's
I'll
actually a
look for it.
defense. Yeah, I can actually put her link.
Because
in
I think
chat. She's
I
excellent.
watched Lawyer Lee. That's who I was watching. Who covered it? I liked Lawyer Lee.
I like her too. She's charming.
Yeah, she
I like her. Yeah, Andrea's a defense attorney, and she's
Okay.
very good. She actually covers the Tyler Robertson hearings as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you guys have some time in your hands, you guys like listening to court documents and stuff, those Lawyer Lee and Andrea Burkhart's are really good for that. Melanie Little, I know she covers a lot of the Massachusetts cases like Kelsey Fitzsimmons and Sandra Birchmore. That's a sad case too.
Emily probably does too, right? Emily Baker. I like watching
I
her.
love Emily Baker. Me too. I'm a huge fan of hers. Yeah,
I
she does.
that when I watch a trial, I will pull Andrea's channel, or not Andrea, Emily's channel up, and I will listen to her, but then I will find a small chat, another content creator that their chat is smaller, and I will go into their chat and chat with them and listen to Emily.
Yeah, I almost like smaller creators for that. Yeah.
Yes, I like smaller chats opposed to bigger chats.
Same. If I'm just listening, that's one thing, but I like to. For me, I'm a chatter. I like being in chats. I like getting people and bouncing things off each other and be able to see each other. Chats that go, I don't like. They're tough to be in. Yeah.
It's not fun because you're really just watching and trying to read. But
right. Yeah. And then, you're putting in, with super chats and stuff. I like quaint communities, right? Like I like, it's not that I like smaller, it's not, I do like chatting, but I want to have a conversation, and it's hard to chat something when no one's actually seeing what you're saying. So I get that totally. Good in her success. And all the law tubers that go record documents, that I bring that good. That's amazing. But they having 20,000 people in chat. I can't imagine like thinking of having 20,000 people watching you talk. That's intimidating in my opinion. You know what I mean?
That is. It's nice when there's like 200 or 300 people in chat and it just has a nice little clip and it moves and you're like talking, or even like 100 people is fine too, or 50 or 40, like, I don't know, when it gets like, when it just is flying, and then when you have to slow it down, then there's that delay and you can't say what you want to say. And so, yeah, I just prefer it to be a little smaller. That's all. But I love her analysis is perfect. And so, yeah.
Yeah, she's good. But with I think she's a civil attorney too, so it's like breaking down the documents. One thing, like Emily Day Baker has a huge chat. I don't think I've ever chatted in her chat before because of that. But it's their aspect. But at the same time too, I like watching other creators who aren't lawyers, who don't really have anything, because you kind of hear it from a juror's perspective, how people like me and you, who we called to jury duty, are looking at the evidence. Granted, we hear a lot more than you would during a trial, but I like that opinion as well.
Have you ever done jury duty?
I've never been picked. I've been to jury duty, and I always get excluded. How about you?
I got picked once. I got picked.
Was it
well,
good?
so I'm from Michigan, and it was these two guys. They stole some scaffolding on Gratiot, and they tied it to the roof of their car with a shoelace string and drove down Gratiot with the scaffolding. And the one guy had been convicted and was doing his time and was there. He testified, and then, I mean, it was like a no-brainer. I mean, the guy was testifying against the other guy. They had like pictures of him driving down Gratiot with a scaffolding
That should be in a
shoelace.
prison and being like, what are you here for? And like, scaffolding.
Stole some scaffolding, tied it to the roof of the car, drove down Gratiot. Like, what idiot.
Oh my god, right? They're probably drunk or something. That's I mean, people, and that's thing too. Like when you get picked for jury duty, you're not going to get all these like sensational cases. You're going to get the scaffolding or the pickpocketer on the tee, or
Yeah, and my mom at the time, I was only 19, and at the time my stepdad was a police officer, so she was like, just tell him your dad's a police officer and you'll be excused. And so that was the first thing I said. My dad's a police officer. Nope, I was picked.
Oh my god. Yeah, one time I went to jury duty with my sister. I was really young. And of course, it was in like 6th or 7th grade, and she was like, come on with me. Didn't she get picked? I had to sit there the whole day, just like wait, because when you get picked, you just got to go. And
Yeah.
I just sat there all day and kind of like took in the surroundings and stuff. It's very interesting, but it's like a civil trial with like a slip and fall. That's what I'd be picked for. I wouldn't be picked for like the Karen Reed case. I'd be picked for the slip and fall person trying to get the
scaffolding case.
The scaffolding case. So you said you want to go to trials. What kind of trials would you be into? Are there ones in Michigan that you'd like to go to, or would you want to travel?
Well, I'm in Florida. I live in Florida now, but I would want to travel, and like I'm very interested in the Melanie Buzzard. If she goes to trial, I would, travel out and follow the Melanie Buzzard case. I'm very interested in that, and I've thought about there's nothing really in Florida right now, but Sarah Boone is doing some family court stuff, so I don't know, maybe that
would be cool. Florida is not lacking in trials or crime.
No,
that's one thing, and they show everything. I love that about Florida. That's why people think that Florida is full of crime. It's not that it's the same as everywhere else, but they stream everything for the transparency of it. I love that. What are your thoughts on the Melanie Buzzard case?
Well, I think it's such a tragedy, and I didn't think she was going to be found alive. I really didn't. I think the mom is mentally ill and was becoming mentally ill, and it was getting progressively worse. But I don't think she's criminally insane. I think she knew exactly what she was doing and planned it, and should go away for the rest of her life if found guilty.
Absolutely. If she's guilty, I mean, not looking good for her. I wonder if I followed a lot for what we hear, right? I always wonder if there was like a religious aspect, but from what I know that I kind of deep dived in the other day, there isn't. Did she have siblings? I couldn't get that part of it.
I believe she did. I believe she had a brother, but don't quote me on that.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm in like the central part of Florida on the Gulf side.
Okay. It's beautiful
I'm not
down
that
there.
far.
Is
I
it
was
warm?
gonna go to Sarah's trial, but I didn't make it to it. So I was like an hour away from Orlando. So
She's the gift that keeps on giving.
yeah,
She's still giving, right? She's still
yeah.
giving.
She's a treat. She's a treat. I can't believe that that woman did that to herself. That she was offered a 15-year plea deal, but now is in prison for life without parole. Like, wow.
Shocked. Yeah.
Shot herself right in the foot. Put herself in the suitcase.
Yeah.
Might as
She had the
well.
Murdaugh effect, right? She thought she was the smartest one in the room.
Oh, yeah. She thought she was so smart, and it was unintentional. She calls it an unfortunate incident now. She won't call it what it is.
Right.
The
Okay, but
unfortunate
like
incident.
the unfortunate, but like, okay, can we just like say this just to say it out loud? I've said it before. What grown man gets into a suitcase to play hide and go seek? Do you what do you think of that whole thing? Do you think that she stuffed him in there after she unalived him, or do you think that he really? Because we don't really know what the truth is. We just know that he was in the suitcase. I can't say that I've ever gotten. Who knows what
There's
would
a
happen?
photo of her son in the suitcase, like not on that day, but at a different time. So
Mhm.
I kind of feel like maybe they saw the photo and she was like getting the suitcase or something, and he just, they were playing, but I don't think it was hide and seek. Like he got in the suitcase and she couldn't find him, like or what. But I think once he, was in the suitcase, he couldn't get out, and she did take a bat and beat the suitcase when he tried to get out. So I
Yeah,
mean,
and he
once
was
she had him,
screaming.
she had him. But yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have gotten in a suitcase, not for Sarah Boone ever.
No, 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 no. And you're right. There was video of him yelling for her. That was tragic. That was sad to hear. Right.
Yeah.
And then you think, she had substance abuse issues and stuff, and that'll make people do things out of character. But her character seems pretty spot on for
Well,
the
I worked in substance abuse, and it was always interesting to see the people that would come in, and I would wonder, like, because all of them did a little bit of a glow up, but like, what was the glow up going to be? Like, who were we going to get, right? And I just think Sarah Boone either damaged her brain with all the alcohol and substances and isn't
yeah.
going to get any better, or was a horrible person to start with. Although in my last Sarah Boone video I did, somebody came down in the comments and said that they grew up with Sarah Boone, and was really good friends with them during I think junior high, and knew her through her 20s. So I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. And this is no, so if you people have substance abuse issues, I'm not saying that everyone acts like this. This is not
Oh
what I'm
no.
saying. Because I don't want people to think like, oh,
Did
well, my
somebody
kid doesn't act like
that?
this. Oh, no, no. I just want to just to say it. I don't think I have anything. But if you people often, this is my opinion. This is from my experience. People with you can you've been in since you worked with people with substance abuse, people self-medicate, right? So if they have personality disorders, if they have all of this stuff, they do that to self-medicate themselves. So she had mental, and him, if they had mental health issues to begin with, and then you throw alcohol on top of that. Alcohol is the biggest depressant. If people like, I drink, so I'm depressed, well, that's not helping. You might think it is for the short time being, right?
Yeah, Sarah reminds me of a borderline if I had to pick one, and I don't diagnose people, but she ticks a lot of the borderline boxes for me. And a lot of them do use as to medicate. So, and alcohol was her medication of choice. So I would, if I had to, I would pick that diagnosis for her. She probably has some other things too, but I think that would be her main one. And it just has gotten, they're the people that will shoot themselves. They will cut their nose off to spite themselves just to be right when they're wrong, clearly.
Yeah. Do you think something about borderline personality has always fascinated me? Is that something that's built off of trauma, or do you think you're born with borderline personality, like a deficiency, or is that something that's created over time due to traumas and things like that?
I think
If you
it's
don't know, you
more,
know, but
It can be both. It can be that's nature versus nurture. So it just like, because my family is, I come from a borderline personality family. Like
Mhm.
I recognize it, and I can pull up those traits in an instant. And but I recognize when I'm doing it. I know I'm doing it right. I use it as a tool to get people away from me.
Yeah.
It's just,
Both a
I
blessing and a
think that
curse.
it just a little bit of both, and it just depends. You would have to know the person's background to say whether it came from, if she was born that way or if it was her environment. I don't know. I looked into her family, and it looked like her mother was really into um, like balls and stuff like that. But also, it's been said to me that they were very middle class. So I don't know.
Yeah, I always wondered. You never heard anyone of her family coming out. I mean, there's a lot of
Well, her
there's a
brother's
lot
in
of people.
prison. She's got a brother in
Oh,
prison, and her other
interesting.
brothers in the military, and then her mom and dad are dead.
Oh, wow. I mean, imagine being like that one family member that's, in the military, and then they're like, "Is that your sister?" I mean, that's tragic for them too, because then it becomes so public, and they kind of get drug in the mud with the person, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I,
Yeah.
I was thinking about another uh who was it? Oh, wait, the mother, hold on, wait. Quentin Simon. Remember that case? It was in Florida.
Remind me
Quentin
of what it
Simon,
was.
he what was her name? Chat, help me out. Quentin Simon, he was the little boy who was found in a landfill, or not found for that matter.
Oh, was
And
he the one that she let the boyfriend beat him and called him gay and all that?
oh no, that one's
Oh,
bad too.
oh.
Um uh
The name,
no,
I'm just
what was
really
her
bad
name?
with remember.
Oh, they were in Georgia. Okay. Um
Oh,
I thought it was in Florida.
there's a case by me, Jessica Lunsford, that
Mhm.
was a little girl that she lived in a trailer with her dad, and the guy across the street, Cooey, just decided to take her from her bed at night and then buried her alive with her little, she had just gotten this stuffed little
Yeah.
dolphin that I've been covering, and I might like do a thing where I go to her gravesite and film it and tell the story, and then go like down the street she lived, and go to the church she went to, and just try to do like one of those type of videos where I go to the scene of the crime and talk about it. So
Yeah, that would be beautiful, because you a lot of that's beautiful, because you often look at, viewers look at the crime, and you see the person for the crime, and not for the person that they
yeah,
were. Hmm.
yeah,
There was another one too. It kind of was a flash, right? Like you heard about it, and then all of a sudden it went away. No one talked about it anymore. That young girl who, her grandmother, she lived at her grandmother's house, and the person who lived on her grandmother's property, who she may or may not have had a romantic relationship with, was accused of the unaliving of her. Um, and I remember following it for like a month or two, and then they found her, and then all of a sudden the it goes away, and then you never hear anything anymore. You never hear what happened with him. Nothing. And that we have to understand too, there's so much crime and so many stories that never make it to YouTube. They never make it to the headlines. There's unalivings every single day in major cities that we never hear about.
yeah. There's so much out there, and you know, one of the cases that I'm really proud of this year, we actually helped solve one. We were working in the missing and murdered Indigenous women, and I had a family contact me and ask if I would help find their loved one. And so Amber from Into the Weeds and I worked together, and we got her on a feather report, and then Amber helped connect the family to their tribe in the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women network. And eventually, I think it took us about 11 months, and we finally found her alive.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is absolutely incredible.
One of
There's people
her
like you.
one of her high school teachers to their aunt saying, if you, and I don't want to say her name because she was found. That's why I'm
There
not
we go.
saying her name. But they said, if you see this video, we're just trying to find you. Please reach out to us, because we had like traced her to a possible basement, and there was, other things that we found online that was like with just horrible, like this guy saying that she died in the basement and bestiality, and just like it took us down some dark paths. Like I was like, but the teacher was like, we're just really worried about you, and if you're out there, just like let us know you're alive, right? Just let us know.
Yeah.
And then she just came forward. It was, he was like, I love you, kid. I miss, or something like that. It was something really sweet, and that's what got her to come forward.
I mean, if that doesn't make you want to keep going, because there are good outcomes, regardless. You find someone alive and you bring it back to their loved ones. That's a goal kind of these. When you see missing peoples and stuff, you hope that they come back. You hope that's amazing. Can I ask you a question? Actually, the whole
we're looking for, though, and I don't think she's going to come back alive. But yeah, go ahead.
Are these? So I'm actually, it's in the same vein as this. So the indigenous women and the natives, is this mainly in Americas, or is this in the Alaskas as well? And can you let the viewers that don't know a little bit about what's going on with that?
Well, we worked in the United States, but it's all over. Like, it's happening in the United States and Canada. Indigenous women are just being taken. Women and children are being taken at a higher epidemic. A lot of it has to do with the laws crossing from tribal land over into the Americas, and in Canada too, like with their tribal, and there's our judicial system wasn't allowed to cross over onto tribal land, and vice versa. I think they've worked some things out now where in certain circumstances they can do that. Now they're doing feather reports where they're putting out the reports on the missing people. And they're also being trafficked and sold at a higher rate because of the poverty and just our systems that are in place. And the woman that we're working with now, Chandra, I forget her last name. We haven't worked on it in a while, and I always get her name wrong. But she crossed over into Mexico, and that's why I don't think we're going to get her back. But yeah, so it's Mexico, United States, and Canada.
Wow. And with no one's allowed on reservations, right? It's independently governed.
Our legal system can't cross over onto it. So the reporting is really off on when somebody goes missing, and if they go missing on tribal land, it's like I don't know what it's called. The United States Police. What's it called when it's just United States Police and not tribal police? Is it United States Police?
I don't even know. Because I mean, on reservations, as far as I'm aware, they're self-governed. Yeah. There's
Whatever
tribal police. Yeah.
Whatever the other police are called, the rest of the United States Police that's not tribal police. They don't cross back and forth, and they don't share, and it's really confusing. And it's like women and children and even men are going missing at higher rates, and it's sad.
And I do know that reservations, as much as people are like they worry about reservations, they're very, very they can be very dangerous, and because they are self-governed and they don't have local state police or whatnot. It's often, the people are like, well, they don't pay to live. That has nothing to do with that. I do know firsthand that the ones I've been to are very
Well, they don't want
impoverished,
the
struggling.
cowboy RC said it's BIA police, and that was the word. They don't want them on their land because they also like who trusts the police, right? I mean,
Right.
I don't want to put the police down, but like we're just sitting here talking in Boston and all the corruption, and there's really good police officers out there. Like I know Cowboy RC was a good officer, but there's so much corruption around that it's just so hard.
Right. And you're talking to people who literally came in and had their everything taken from them, and the way that, hold on one second, one moment.
It's okay. She has her son here with her tonight. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's really crazy. And, but I was really happy to work with the family. I still stay in touch with the family. And I actually started a Facebook group that has her case in it, and it has the new case that we're working on. It's called Feathers of the Vanished, and Amber from Into the Weeds works with me on these cases. And anybody who wants to work with us is welcome to.
That's amazing. If you want to put that into the chat and everyone go over there and give that a like. Hold on, he just came into my room. I'm sorry, you guys. One moment.
Okay. Let me see if I can find it. I didn't expect to mention it. And it's a really small group, you guys, and I'm just learning how, well, I guess I shouldn't be using excuse anymore because I think I've had the group for like 6 months now. But here is the group if you're interested in the missing and murdered Indigenous women group. It's called Feathers of the Vanished. Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you for putting in the chat. I can't wait to that's fascinating too. That's something that I could definitely get with. No one covers that. The only people I've ever heard of talk about it are you and Amber, Into the Weeds.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I put it over on TikTok, I did get a lot of response from native people thanking us for doing it, and then they would, that's how we got the other case. Somebody knew the case we were working on, and she was like, "Oh, I knew her, but could you help me find my cousin?" So yeah,
that's amazing. And you too. I always say, like, there's people like you and Amber, all people that do God's work, right? The cases that, or the Indigenous people, you don't have the FBI necessarily out there looking for these women or anyone taking them. What's happening to them, right? That's not necessarily like the most sensational, most appealing thing for people to, but there's people like you, there's people like Frank Zell with the John Bonet case that just do it out of the goodness of your heart, looking for a good outcome, right? And look, you had a good outcome. You end up finding someone. And if everyone, there's the group for Facebook. If you guys go over there and go sub up, I don't know, you could follow it. That would be amazing, and we can follow that case as well.
Yeah, because I do need to start working on this case. It's my turn to host it, but I just don't have a lot of information on her. I need to sit down and try to. And also the family hasn't been contacting me as much as the other family contacted me. The other family, we were like in a group chat, and like I knew everything about it, and it's just a little different, a little more hard. Here it is. Her name is Chanda Lore Saunders. That's who it is. That's who we're looking for. I should bump this up. Are you there still?
I am. I'm right here. Sorry. I just want to go off camera.
I'm not on the page, and you weren't saying anything. So I'm like,
I can actually pin it to the top through my phone. One moment. Let me see. All right, let's see here.
Mom?
Hold on one second. Sorry.
No, I meant over here. I'm going to try to bump it up. there. People
Excellent. Thank you.
who we're working on. I pinned it to the top of the group too. So if you want to take a look, there's a video of her, and there's some photos of her, and there's her story. So if anybody wants to take a look at Tanda, you can, maybe you've seen her. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Missing, and that's the thing too. Getting people's pictures out. It doesn't matter where you think you are in the world or where you think they could be. Anyone could be anywhere, right? And just getting people's faces out there, and you're walking down the street, you think, wow, they look familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Any help is good help, right?
Yeah. Well, she went to she was on a vacation, I think, in Mexico and never came back.
Wow. That's scary, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like the Natalie Holloway effect of you go on vacation and missing.
Or that Amy Bradley. That was another case a big case I covered this year, Amy Bradley. I did quite a few. I did like 5 or 6 videos on her.
Demonstrate that still hasn't.
I think Amy might be found still. I still have hope for Amy. Did anyone else? Yeah, did you watch the Netflix docuseries? If you need to go, that's fine. We can wrap it up. I'm good.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I think he's had enough tonight. I am so sorry.
No, don't worry, because I told you that I'm like feeling kind of like, and plus I feel like we're winding it down anyway. I've talked about all the cases I wanted to. Was there any cases that we missed on you? I feel like I did a lot of talking. But I feel like Amy's also dealing with some things. Happy New Year, you guys. Who's staying up to midnight? I don't think I am. Where is everybody at? I'm in Florida, so I'm on Eastern time zone. Where are you guys at? Canada, the Indigenous had its own judge, etc. Yeah, I think it's the same here, like tribal police, tribal judges, tribal land. I have had the flu going around 6 days now. Oh my gosh. I think that's going on. I just saw a lot of my friends in Michigan are starting to get sick.
It's terrible. The flu and the vid, it's going around like crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Cooties. Yeah, so thank you so much for spending your New Year's Eve with us. Amy, I hope we can do this again. I'm sorry, I'm being kind of but hold on, I don't want to show his face. Okay.
I would love to do this again.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Thank you for spending some of your New Year's Eve with us. I hope you guys both. Oh yeah, if you guys are on Unsolved Amy Boston, you're not subscribed to Amy Power Woman Radio Network, go over there. I actually have her link pinned to the top. Go over there and sub to her. I watch her every day. She does a lot of content. Like we were just talking about the Indigenous women. She's gone over a lot of the hidden true crime. That's actually how I found you. And I'm so glad that I did.
I wondered how you found me.
It was through this.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. Well, thank you for having me on, Kim. Thanks for moderating, and thank you, Power Crew, for joining me. And it's so good to meet all of Amy Boston's crew as well. What did you call it? You said you called yourself something. Not the nobodies. What was it? Oh, the problem.
I'm just a girl on the internet.
No, you called your crew something. The what did you call it? The problem children or something like that. I don't remember what you called it.
We're the bad kids over here. We're all the bad kids.
That's what it was.
Yeah. We're the kids that had to sit by ourselves in the back, and that we like, don't tell me what to do. We're all the bad kids over here on Unsolved Amy Boston.
Well, it's good to be with the bad
They're the
kids.
Dragonflies, right?
Yeah, we're the Dragonflies.
Bad Kids Club. That's right. The Dragonflies. Yes. All right. So Kung Fu Panda, Baby Grunk, my little guy, has had enough. Nana is asking to wrap it up. So thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully we can do this again and we'll talk about all the things. I wish you a very merry, happy New Year. Hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to make it to midnight, but What do you think? You gonna make it to
I'm
midnight?
not gonna make it. No.
I'm
Well, I
gonna make
might.
it like
It's almost 10 now, so maybe.
15.
Hi to the little guy. Happy New Year.
All right, guys. I am gonna run out of here. Thanks for being here. And if you guys like and subscribe to the video, go over to Power Woman Radio Network and subscribe to her and absorb all of her content. And hopefully we can do this again really soon. And hopefully we can get into the weeds and talk more about Gypsy Rose. That'd be interesting.
Oh yeah. I saw Amber in chat, so she stopped by. So it was good to see Amber in chat. Hope you feel better,
Yes,
Amber.
absolutely. Yes, I feel better. And hopefully you can come up with us on panel again.
Okay.
I was actually on your channel last week, and Amber was on with us and talked a little bit about
Yeah.
Gypsy Rose and everything. Yeah,
I've got
and
to
so you guys are
reschedule that.
subscribed to her. Yes.
I got to reschedule that. I know Crusha and Jay were doing a live today right now, so I think a lot of people were over there, but I know that Crusha wants to talk about the Mormonism and all of that with us, so that'll be cool.
Yes,
I'm getting
probably gonna
tired
hop
because
over
I'm getting
there now.
slurry. I'm getting like, when I get tired, I just start slurring my words together.
Same.
Sorry.
He's distracting me so much. I'm like, ADHD to begin with. And then he's like, mom. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, guys. Okay. Have a good 2026. I hope you get your New Year's kiss. Probably gonna be sleeping. Hopefully I don't though. Hopefully I can ring in the new
Thanks,
year.
Amy.
Soon. Thanks, Aim. All right, guys. See you later.
Bye everyone.